The idea came to me as I was mulling over the shattered pieces of my marriage. I had just discovered Emily's affair, a revelation that turned my world upside down. I felt a cocktail of emotions: anger, sadness, betrayal, but most of all, I wanted closure. After some thought, I realized I could take control of this situation in a way that would force Emily to confront the truth. I decided to book a group escape room challenge for a night out with friends. It seemed innocent enough, a fun way to blow off steam and reconnect with our social circle. But I had an ulterior motive. I meticulously crafted puzzles that reflected Emily's lies and her infidelity, designing an experience that would lay bare the truth for all to see. The day of the escape room event arrived, and I felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. I gathered our friends, some of whom had been friends of both Emily and me, while others were closer to me, and explained the plan. "It'll be a fun challenge," I said, hiding the storm of emotions swirling inside. "Let's see how well we can work together to escape." As we arrived at the escape room, I could see the excitement on everyone's faces. Emily was her usual charming self, laughing and engaging with our friends, blissfully unaware of the treacherous path I had set for her. Inside the escape room, the atmosphere was electrifying. The host explained the rules, and we were ushered into a dimly lit room filled with intricate puzzles and locks. "The clock is ticking, so let's see how quickly you can solve the mystery," he announced with a flourish before shutting the door. Once the door clicked shut, I could feel the tension build. The group began to work together, attempting to decipher clues and solve puzzles scattered around the room. I had arranged them so that the answers reflected key moments from Emily's betrayal. The first puzzle involved a series of photographs hung on the wall, each depicting a significant date from our past. One of the images was of our wedding day, while another was a photo from a family gathering. In the center was a picture of Emily with another man, taken during a time she claimed to be working late. "Hey, what's this one doing here?" one of our friends pointed at the image, confusion etched on his face. I feigned ignorance, shrugging. "Maybe it's a mistake? We should focus on the other clues." Emily paled, her eyes darting between the photos. I could see her processing the implications of what was happening, but she quickly masked it with a forced smile. "Let's just solve the puzzle," she said, her voice slightly shaky. As we moved to the next challenge, the tension in the room heightened. The second puzzle involved a set of locked boxes, each requiring a specific combination to open. Clues scattered throughout the room hinted at various numbers, and as the group brainstormed, I introduced a riddle that referenced Emily's lies. "What number represents the year we had our first major fight?" I asked, my tone casual. Everyone fell silent, glancing at Emily. "I'm not sure we should dwell on the past," she replied, her smile faltering. "Come on. It's just a game," I said, my heart racing. "The answer is important for the combination." As the group deliberated, I could see Emily growing more anxious. The others began to piece together the connections, and the atmosphere shifted from playful to tense. We finally unlocked the first box, revealing a collection of personal items, each tied to moments in our relationship. One item was a necklace I had given Emily on her birthday. Another was a letter I had written during a tough time, professing my love. The final item, however, was a crumpled piece of paper that had a name written on it, her lover's name. I watched as our friends' faces morphed from confusion to shock as they read the paper. "Is this," one friend began, looking at Emily, who was now visibly shaken. "It's just a name," she retorted, her voice quivering. "It doesn't mean anything." "Maybe it's just part of the game," I said, trying to keep my composure while revealing the truth. "But it's interesting how this name has become part of our story, isn't it?" The tension escalated, and as we moved to the next puzzle, I could see the cracks forming in Emily's facade. We entered a new section of the room filled with more clues that referenced times Emily had lied about her whereabouts, each carefully crafted to unveil the truth. One puzzle involved a locked drawer that required a specific phrase to unlock. The phrase one chose was, "I promise I'll always be honest with you." As I suggested it, I glanced at Emily, watching her face contort with realization. As the group worked together to unlock the drawer, I felt a surge of satisfaction. The last item inside was a small diary, filled with her thoughts from the time of the affair. I had lifted it from her bedside table, each entry documenting her feelings for me while simultaneously expressing her guilt and desire for someone else. "Let's read some entries, shall we?" I said, keeping my voice light. The others nodded, curious, and I opened the diary to the first page. The entries laid bare her conflicting emotions, revealing her lies and the turmoil she had created in our lives. As I read aloud, the words resonated deeply with the group, and I could feel the weight of their gazes upon her. "Why can't I stop thinking about him?" I read, my voice echoing through the room. "I love Michael, but I'm so lonely." As I finished reading, the room was enveloped in silence. Our friends exchanged stunned glances, grappling with the reality of what was unfolding. Emily's mask of composure had crumbled, replaced by anguish and disbelief. "Emily, how could you do this?" one of our friends finally said, breaking the silence. "I didn't mean to hurt anyone." "I was confused," she exclaimed, her voice breaking. "It was a mistake." "It was more than a mistake," I said, my heart racing. "It was a choice that you made while lying to me." As tensions reached a boiling point, the countdown timer began to tick down. The escape room staff could intervene at any moment, but I pushed forward. "All the pieces are connected, and the truth is right in front of you," I said, my voice steady. The clock ticked down, and with seconds to spare, the last puzzle revealed itself. A final clue presented a question that summed up the evening: what's the most important thing in a relationship? As the timer reached 0, I turned to Emily, my heart pounding. "The answer is trust. You've broken that trust, and it's time you face the consequences." In that moment, the door to the escape room swung open, and the staff entered, ready to conclude the session. Our friends looked around, still processing the weight of what had just unfolded. Emily stood frozen, her eyes wide with realization. "I'm so sorry," she murmured, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I never meant for it to come to this." "Then you should have thought about that before making your choices," I replied, my voice firm but pained. As we exited the escape room, the reality of our situation began to sink in. Our friends offered support and comfort, but I could see the disappointment in their eyes as they grappled with the truth of Emily's actions. In the days that followed, Emily reached out to me, desperate for reconciliation. But I knew that the trust between us had been irrevocably shattered. I needed time to heal and reflect on what had transpired. Ultimately, the escape room experience forced Emily to confront her infidelity in a way she never expected. It became a pivotal moment in our lives, one that laid bare the truth and set the stage for the choices that lay ahead. I was ready to embrace a future built on honesty, healing, and self-discovery, even if it meant walking away from the love I once thought would last forever.